Another question was how to get the JavaScript button to work. So let's review that. Okay, we're in CodePen. To make a button, use an HTML button tag, opening and closing tag. So again, a closing tag looks just like the opening tag, but it has this backslash. That's our little button there, pretty small because there's nothing in it. So let's type some text in there. Now say hello, we click on it, nothing happens. So let's make some JavaScript magic to make something happen. I'm going to create a function. Again, a function is reusable code that we can reuse over and over again. We only have to type it once. I'm going to call this function say hello. And a little comment about this. This way of writing things is called camelcase, like a camel out in the desert. So the first letter of whatever the first word is lowercase, and then the first letter of every other word in the name is uppercase. That's called camelcase. So this function is called say hello. What's it going to do? It's going to alert something. An alert's just a message that pops up. We're going to put some text in here. That's in quotes. The text is going to say hello world. We click on the button. Still nothing happens. Why does nothing happen? Because we haven't given any instruction to the button as to what to do when we click it. So the magic word for that is on click. Whoops. And that needs to be in camelcase, which we just discussed. So there's on click and camelcase. On click, what do we want to do? We want to call this say hello function. Okay, so now when I click on the button, hello world, there we are, it works. And that's pretty much what answers your question, but since we're all here, let's take it a step further. I'm going to make an input box here. And what type of input? Let's make it a text input. So you've seen this before on plenty of forms that you fill out on the internet. When I click on it, it still says hello world. Well, that's because this magic spell down here hasn't changed. So let's change the magic a little bit. We're going to create a variable, var. We're going to call it name. And what's it going to be equal to? Let's just say Billy for now. And then let's pop that name variable in here and see what happens. Now when I click hello world, it's just going to say Billy. Billy, okay? But instead of putting this in here, which is called a static or fixed variable, let's do some really neat magic. This is the long bunch of code I typed in class. Don't be afraid of it, just follow along. So from the document itself, we want to use this magic word called get element by ID. And again, this is camelcase. That get starts with the lowercase g, then uppercase for element, uppercase for b for by, uppercase I for ID. We're going to get element by ID. We want to get this, but we haven't actually given it an ID yet, so let's give it an ID. We'll just call it name to keep it simple. So this is going to create a JavaScript variable called name, and it's going to get its value by getting the element called name off of the document. But we want to do one more thing here, dot value. We want the value of what's in there. Now, if I type my name in here and click say hello, now it says Mr. Rockwell. See that? It's now alerting that variable. So we created a variable called name, and its value is equal to, in the document, the get element by ID. Which element ID? The one called name. That's this one right here. And we want the value of that. Let's do one more thing. Let's make it say hello to us. So I'm going to type the word hello in quotes. This is called a string. And then I'm going to use a plus sign, which in JavaScript is called a concatenation operator. Concatenate means to join things together. So when I type my name in the text box and hit the button, it's going to say hello and it's going to say my name. Let's see. So if I type Mr. Rockwell and now I hit say hello, There it is. Hello, Mr. Rockwell. Everything works. And this is just one example of what you can do with buttons, having it alert a variable. There's all sorts of other things that will come later that you can do, adding numbers together, moving a character around on a screen in a game, things like that. Have fun with it.